Hey guys, my name is Ryan Pfeffer, as mentioned, and I am the co-founder and head of engineering at SendHub. I know it's the last presentation before lunch, so I promise to make this as exciting and interactive as possible. So the three things I'm going to be talking about today is I'm basically just going to be talking about SendHub, walking you guys through the product that we have, talking a little bit about what it was like for us to run Kazoo at scale, and then delve into some of this fun stuff with WebRTC, give you guys some of the nuts and bolts on what it's like to support that for your customers and based upon our experiences. And then I'll just talk a little bit about mobile as well. All right, so what we saw yesterday in some of the auto provisioning stuff that was demoed with Monster is really, really cool. I really do think that some of the things that they are doing to speed up the time of deployments for people like us really changes the landscape. However, I do believe that just because you have a physical device, there are limitations that need to be addressed if we're going to continue to be successful in the future. So some of those problems are, it takes days to deploy some of these devices just because they're physical devices. You have to get them to the office, and if you're going to scale as a business, you have to deal with that. They're tied to your desk, and they're limited to voice. So when we built SendHub, we wanted to solve all of these problems. So with SendHub, it's deployed in minutes because it's all software based. We support mobile and web apps, which I'll show you guys in a minute. And we do more than just voice. We do SMS, files, and more. So I could talk a lot about all the features, but what I'd rather do is just demo them for you guys. Wow, that is a small resolution. All right, hopefully that works better for you guys. So when you sign up for SendHub, you really just need three things. You need a phone number, an area code, and your name. And once you go through the sign-up process, which literally takes a minute or two, you're in. And we also support porting in a number as well. Once you get into the product, it's a very simple, straightforward interface. Everybody understands the concept of the inbox. So when you go to use SendHub, you immediately understand where to go for SMS and voice communication. So it looks like I've got a new message here from one of my customers. And you can see when I drill into the thread that it shows me more than just the SMS back and forth. I actually see that I have a voicemail. And you can even see that this voicemail was transcribed from this customer. And it looks like Bob has called me. However, it does look like the transcription didn't fully complete. It looks like there was a couple things that were hard to hear in the audio. So let's just see if we can hear that here.
Yeah, this is Bob. I would like to order 12 Polish sausages. Actually, make that a baker's dozen. I'll pick them up later today. Thank you.
So I don't know whose voice that was. Pretty random. But anyway, if you guys are super fans, you guys will appreciate that. So anyway, SendHub, unified communication on the thread here. But that's not all. We also support, of course, calling. So one of the things that you guys saw yesterday was the Kazoo JS SDK that enables WebRTC calls. SendHub was a proud sponsor of that project, and we think it was a very fun project for us, and we are amazed with the results that we ended up with. So let me just make a call here to just show you guys. So I'm going to call my favorite company.
Contacting Amazon.com customer service. For quality assurance and training purposes, your call may be monitored.
We'll show off DTMF here.
For item delivery or tracking, press 1. For help with an order that was shipped and sold by a third-party seller other than Amazon,
so you guys get the point.
For a status
fully-fledged phone call. We also, if you saw in there, we also support call transfer. So a lot of the basic things are already handled for you out of the box with SendHub. So in addition to the SMS, voicemail, calling, we also support a few other things that make it really a fully fledged phone system for a user. One good example is contact management. You can import your contacts from a bunch of different services, Google, Yahoo, upload CSVs, etc. And we found that people really want to get their contacts in because they've got that address book already going, and they want to have it part of their phone system to make it easy, because you don't want to remember phone numbers. You want to call Bob, right? We also have groups, which enable you to. I can just show you this here. So this is one of my groups, and I can go in and set a keyword for that group. And what that does is anybody can actually text my 10-digit phone number, and it will subscribe them to be a part of that group, so I can send them blast messages and things like that. So that's a feature that we've had quite a long time. This is a feature that we actually more recently introduced. This is just conference lines. I'll talk about our experience in moving to Kazoo, but the short answer is, or the short story is, doing conferences for us was an extremely easy rollout, and we've really simplified the whole process of setting up conference lines for users. And it wouldn't have been nearly as easy had we not been on Kazoo. So you guys get the drift. That's kind of our product. If you are more of an admin type of person in your company and you want to manage things, you can actually drill in on the website here. Oh, there's a bug. Got to test low resolution. So you can see you get graphs there to show your usage. This is a test account, so the background process hasn't run yet, and you can get just a call log of all the different calls and texts that have happened on your system. And then to provision new users, it's very simple. You just go manage users here, add new user, pick your plan, pick your area code, whatever you want, and you're ready to go. To show off some of the other Kazoo integrations that we have, I can go into my settings and drill into some of the phone settings here. So one thing that we realized is this call flow editor is really, really powerful, and we wanted to expose it to our users, but we wanted to simplify it down. And so I think somebody mentioned yesterday, like 99% of call flows are basically one thing. It's a user, then a voicemail box. And so what we've basically done is distilled that into the 4 options that we see most commonly. So that is ring a user or ring the devices enabled above, and that will just do essentially that same 99% case. You can also just send all calls to voicemail, or you can disable incoming calls entirely. We also offer an option if you've got like a mainline type of thing that you want. You can enable an auto attendant, or what you guys probably refer to as a menu, with a custom greeting and things of that nature. So anyway, you guys get the point. So hope you guys enjoy SendHub as a product. And I did want to say that we do offer, so this is my little plug, we are doing reselling of SendHub. So if people are interested in working with us and partnering with us as well, we'd love to talk to you and work through some of that stuff. I mentioned we have mobile apps as well, so I'm going to take a second and demo our mobile app. We've actually spent a lot of time working on our mobile apps to make them work well in the market. And one of the things that we noticed is that a lot of the people have mobile apps, but unfortunately, they don't really understand up front how much time it takes to get your mobile app working as good as, say, something like Bria. So people often refer to as Bria as being one of the best, soft phones out there. Assuming you can get the damn thing configured, it's a great phone. And so what we wanted to do is at least meet or exceed that with our mobile app. So I'm going to try and demo that here now. See if the demo gods are with me. Hey, all right. Cool. There's a little bit of latency, so it may take a second. So here's our SendHub mobile app. This is what you see when you get inside. So I'm logged into my personal account here, and you basically see all the same things. Contacts, groups, conference lines, easy to access, so I can, if I wanted to dial into the engineering conference line here, I could. Or if I wanted to, copy it and send it to somebody else, I could do that too. And of course, we have the keypad. Cool, so that is our mobile interface. Oh, we also have some of this call flow settings. Oh, that's invite coworkers, fat fingers. Yeah, so you can send calls to voicemail if you're on your mobile app and stuff like that too. So we have the full integration across all of the apps here. And done with that. Come on. Okay, cool. So that was demo number 1. Back to the presentation. All right, so the second thing I wanted to talk about today was deploying Kazoo at scale. A little bit of history behind SendHub. We started off as a blast, kind of a text messaging company, doing a lot of like SMS marketing. That didn't excite us as much as telephony did, and we decided early on that like, hey, let's do this telephony thing. We really want to try it out. We think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it has been. I've learned so much. But we started off on Twilio, and anybody who has tried to do call transfer on Twilio knows that you can do it, but it's like, I don't know, it's like digging a giant hole with a toothpick. It's like, you'll move some dirt around, but you're never really going to get all the way there. Anyway, so Twilio is a great company in a lot of regards, but in terms of the telephony sides, like we found Kazoo to be much better, and so we decided late last year that we wanted to move to a voice platform that we could control ourselves and deliver like really high call quality to users. And so we reached out to 2600 Hertz. They said, yeah, we can do basically everything you need. We said, great, let's do this. We got the web phone project started, and it's actually been a really nice process all the way through. There have been hiccups and bumps along the way for us. However, we were able to accomplish a lot, and I'm really proud of what we were able to do with that partnership. So, out of the box, from day one, we were multi-data center ready, which is obviously a must-have. And as soon as we worked out all the kinks on integrations with FreeSwitch and the web phone, we were able to actually fully go multi-data center quite quickly. We've seen no problems having over 100,000 accounts on Kazoo, and Kazoo has only limited us, or we've only been limited by the OS and the network layers that we're on. Must be Tuesday? What's that alarm? Anyway, so we've got, so what that all means is that we were able to effectively deploy a carrier-grade WebRTC quite quickly. And there's not many companies out there that have actually been able to do that. Twilio is one company. Google is another company who have deployed WebRTC at that scale. And we feel like that's really exciting, not just because we've been able to do it and 2600 Hertz has been able to do it, but because all of us can do that very, very soon, and get it rolling out there so that WebRTC can take off and like we all think it can. So WebRTC is pretty awesome. There's so much potential there in the sense that, again, you don't have to deal with the hardware. It's basically enabled on everybody's browser. However, there are some obstacles that I wanted to make everybody aware of. First thing is, browser implementations are fairly they've come a long way. I'll say that for one thing, but they haven't been considered everything end to end. And one thing that you'll run into is a customer will come to you and say, "Hey, I love this this WebRTC thing. I want to use it for my business. Can you use X USB device for my headset?" And the browsers, again, they've come a long way, but they haven't gotten that integration with all the devices and the peripherals to make it like a seamless, awesome experience. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Also, the browser implementations are changing. Not all of the pieces of the spec have entirely been worked out, and they are still working through some of those things. And so you're going to see, as you typically do with browsers, a little bit of variance in feature set from one thing to the next. Things may behave slightly differently. And so Firefox may handle permissions much differently than Chrome, etc. Oh, also, it's not supported in IE and Safari. So dealing with that is important. The other thing about WebRTC. So quick question here. How many people in the room have a computer that they use on a day-to-day basis with a GUI connected to an Ethernet cable? Wow, more than I expected, but I don't think this is a representative of the typical population. I would guess that most people are using a laptop almost all the time. And because of that, you're going to have a lot of network diversity on your soft phone, and that changes how you're able to handle calls. So one of the things that we spent a lot of time on our iOS app doing and Android app is being able to handle the case where you get on a call while you're on the Wi-Fi network and you walk away from the office. What we do is we send out a re-invite, and while you're still on the call, you can switch to your 3G or LTE network and continue on the call just as you'd expect. So getting that type of integration working is, again, quite difficult, and you need to be able to handle that. So there are some trade-offs from the desk phones to more of a mobile / WebRTC world. So strategies for long-term support. So if you're going to be rolling these out to your customers, there's a couple things that you really need to think about. First of all, upfront on-site validation is still a good thing. You'll spend less time because you won't spend all that time, rolling out all those desk phones. However, it is still a good idea to spend some time with the wireless router to make sure SIP ALG is turned off and the firewall settings and all that stuff, and making sure that there's good coverage around the office for all the Wi-Fi signals. It's also a good idea to recommend access points. Certain access points that work much better than others. Some offer a quality of service, others don't. And headsets, providing a list of headsets that work well for you is also a very good idea. Automate everything is something that's always a very good idea, and the reason it's good in terms of support is that we found that people inherently trust the desk phone a little bit more than they would trust WebRTC, because WebRTC is new. They don't understand it. They conceptually don't get how a telephone call could come to your browser. And so having a well-automated diagnostic system to dig into, hey, why didn't this call set up as I expected it to, having a system in place to dig into that quickly and explain to the customer, well, you had your browser closed, or you had your device disabled within Kazoo. Things of that nature and debugging those things quickly can quickly tell the customer, oh, this is my problem, or this is a problem with just a configuration. It isn't actually a problem with the product or the technology. So things like that are always very good to know. And so, from a signaling standpoint, like from a SIP signaling standpoint, we feel pretty confident in the visibility that we have today, and being able to say very quickly, hey, this is what the problem is, this is how you fix it. However, one of the things that is a little bit more tricky is audio. As I mentioned, not all routers provide quality of service. Most of the good ones do, but you're always going to run into cases where, hey, like I've got choppy audio, or I just don't feel like this is a high quality call. You'll get those complaints, and so you need to be able to dig into those issues quickly and have visibility across your platform onto, hey, why are these calls bad for people? How many people is it impacting? And the good news is there's already obviously a protocol for this. It's called RTCP, if you're not already aware of it. It's obviously supported in the FreeSwitch stack, and it will send call statistics about your ongoing call to the WebRTC client, and the WebRTC client actually, thankfully, does support consuming those statistics and provides JavaScript APIs for you to consume and get more information about. So that is part of the API, which is a little bit under flux. It's definitely not supported the same way on Firefox and Chrome, but my goal is to show you a little bit of a demo here today. I'm going to hack in the browser and show you some of those statistics being delivered back. So let's do that second demo. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dial into a conference here. Hopefully my internet connection is still good. Cool. All right, so we're now in the conference. So what I'm going to do is just, I'm going to move this back. Do a little hacking here. So I'm just in the JavaScript console for some of you who aren't as familiar with some of the Chrome stuff. Got some of the SIP messaging going on in the background here. First thing I'm going to do is I found a little script online in the WebRTC examples GitHub repo, and this library or this snippet of code is provided, and basically what it does is it provides a very easy common interface to get some of these WebRTC stats. Can provide all this stuff later or point you to the link. It's pretty straightforward. So we'll go into my browser here, paste that in. Okay, great. So my function is now available to me. And what that did is it basically created a function on the window object, and that function is going to allow me to periodically poll for information or get the information provided by the RTCP control protocol. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to just copy this stuff here. What this does is it's going to, again, do the polling, call my callback function, and push the result from that polling into my call stats array. And then after 10 times, I'm going to tell it to just stop. Excuse me. And then we'll just look at some of that data and just see what we find. Ooh, internet disconnected. That's exciting. Let's see if we get anything. I have a feeling the answer is going to be no. Let's try this again. Always have a backup. I think I'll just... Actually, the problem is I can't actually even see the Wi-Fi symbol.
Live demos. That's about it.
You go to, oh, there we go. Nice.
Let's see if that works for you.
I can also choose this.
Give it a sec, otherwise I'll use. You want to try that?
Yes. Oh.
Your call.
All right, we'll try this. If Mobile Tubes doesn't work, or this doesn't work.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that. Great. Thanks, Darren. Back to the demo. It's our signal detection in action. All right, we're just going to refresh the page and switch to Mobile Tubes. Well, of course you can. Thank you. There we go. Great. And we're good. All right, back to the conference. All right, now I have to paste my little function back here into the browser. One more time. My apologies. Looks like the SIP connectivity through the 4G LTE device here is not as much as I wanted. Alright, are we good now? No. Alright, well, I think I'm going to call it quits on that demo.
Are you trying to get it to call yourself?
No, I'm not. I'm trying to call into a conference here. It's just, it doesn't seem to be connecting to the SIP endpoint the way I need it to. Last try. No. Alright. Cool, so that was one of the demos, but we will call it quits on that one. So what I've gone over today here is talked a little bit about CentHub, talked about what it was like to deploy Kazoo at scale, and what it was like to support WebRTC as well. So if people have any questions, we can do that. Oh, sorry.
Tell you what, I think this demo is really cool that he was about to show. Are you guys willing to give us one more minute here to try? Is it worth it? All right, we're going to try this. We got a good crowd. Luckily, it's not 5,000 people in front of us, so we can be a little more flexible. I have one other trick up my sleeve. I don't know if it'll work. Let's try it. Okay, where are we? Where's your browser? This?
Oh, just slide right.
I'm gonna try again.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's just not even putting me in the right state.
It's registered. You want to do it?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure why it's doing that.
Sad face.
You know, I can do this. This is a staging environment.
We'll do it in person. How about after?
Yeah.
Set it up back there?
Yeah, I can show people afterwards as well. Question over here.
Do you support Opus?
We do support Opus, yes.
With forward or correction?
With what?
With dot packet correction?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look into that. Other questions?
You guys have an Android app?
We do have an Android app. Can you yell a little bit louder? I couldn't hear. We have not been tested on those plugins, and neither has the Kazoo SDK. I looked into them, and I think the plugins are supposed to be compatible with IE and Safari. We just haven't dug into that yet. Anybody else? All right. Thanks, guys. Oh. Yes. So the call quality check is actually really, really stupid. It's just literally just a ping and nothing else. But it does give a good. It's not perfect, obviously, and that's one of the things that I'm actually interested in digging into and adding to the support library. There is getting a better understanding for round trip time latency and stuff like that.
The SMS integration is
So that integration actually doesn't offer SMS right now, and neither does the Kazoo platform. So that was custom built. Oh yes. So what it would have shown is basically the call stats. It was all console based. And what it would have shown is what we would have ended up with is an array of timestamps and various stat tuples. So it showed like number of packets dropped over time, packets received, packets sent, and so what it would have shown in terms of the actual this graph here is it would have shown these two paths, packets received and packets sent. And then I think there's some other things in there like jitter milliseconds or buffer milliseconds, I think is what it was. Google has done a really poor job of documenting what some of these stats actually represent. But you get them, and assuming that somebody can figure out what they're supposed to mean, I presume we can draw some value from that.
Is there ways to get the same information coming out the three-switch side?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. One of my big requests, and I was literally just talking to Darren about this a few minutes ago, would be to basically do the same thing but over a WebSocket. WebSockets are much more widely adopted, and then we would also get the ability to get some of those same stats over RTMP, which would be awesome. So we'd have basically across the board in-call statistics on call quality, which would be really nice. Absolutely. Yes, everybody who wants that feature can text my group number. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, anything else? People are probably hungry. All right, thanks guys.